Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to clear up one of the most common confusions in SDTM, that is the difference between the EX domain and the EC domain. Both of these domains deal with drug exposure data, but they serve very different purposes. The EC domain, or the exposure as collected, captures what's recorded directly on the CRF, which is including intended, scheduled, or even missed doses. On the other hand, the EX domain or exposure domain presents the actual exposure, which is in the standardized, cleaned, and is converted into the protocol specified units. By the end of this video, you will understand how the data flows from EC to EX, what each domain represents, and how to interpret real world examples that highlight their differences. So let's get started. Let's look at an example to understand how the EC and EX domain differ in a double-blind study. In this study, the participants were given either the drug X or drug Z. The drug X was given once daily and it was given in the tablet form, which was having the concentration of 500 mg of the drug, and two tablets was given daily. Similarly, if we talk about the drug Z, this was also given in the tablet form and it was given once daily, but it was given the two tablets was given for this drug as well, and the concentration of this drug was 250 mg per tablet. So right now, what I'm showing you is the CRF data where we can see the data is collected for subject ABC 1001 as well as the subject ABC 2001 here. And from here you can see that the first subject here, which is 1001, for that the subject received the two tablets from bottle A, and it started from 14th of January 2011 and it ended on 28th of January 2011. But however, if we look for the second subject, we can see that this subject was also taking the drug from bottle A, and it took the two tablets from bottle A as planned, and it started from 14th of January 2011 and it continued till 23rd of January 2011. But however, this subject did not take any dose on 24th of January 2011, and the reason for this missed dose, you can say, is recorded as patient mistake in the CRF form. So after this 24th of January, the subject again started taking the drug daily, and it started from 25th of January and continued till 20th of January 2011. So this is the data which we have collected on the CRF form. So now let's see how it will be populated in the EC domain. So EC domain is the exposure as collected. So here you will see that for the first subject who took the drug which was given to it regularly without any gap or any missed dose and or any wrong dosage of the drug, we can see that there is one record created for the first subject where you can see that the ECTRT is populated as drug A. Mind here that this is a double blind study, and the time where the EC dataset is created, the study is still blinded, because of which we do not know the exact drug which was given to the subject. So we cannot populate drug Z or drug X as was given to the subject. So the blinded value, which is the bottle A, is populated in your ECTRT here. And since these were pre-specified on the CRF form and these happened, or this drug was given to the subject, we have the value of EC presp and EC occur as Y, and the dose of the drug which the subject took was 2 tablets daily. So we can have the dose unit and the frequency populated accordingly here, and if the epoch will be of treatment period, then we have the start date and end date populated from the data which is collected on CRF, and we can derive the device variables as well. So in this way, you can see the first record is having the information for the first subject, but Now let's see the second case where the subject did not take the drug as it should have taken. So for that subject, since the subject has missed dose on one day, what we are having is in the CRF we have collected as three different uh, entries in the CRF. The same way is entered or populated in your EC domain. So for second subject, which is 2001, you can see we have three records where again the TRT is bottle A, which is same as the what was collected on CRF form. And for the first record, you can see that the subject took two tablets daily from 14th of January to 23rd of January. So we have one record for this span. Then for the record where the subject missed the dose that the subject did not take, and the reason was the patient mistake, that is being captured in your EC reason variable. And you can see that since the subject did not take this medicine, so the EC occur is populated as N, which indicates that the subject did not take the medicine on this particular day. So here, since it missed the dosing only for one day, so we have the same date populated for start date as end date here, and we have the record created. And then the third record is the record where the subject has again started taking the drug, which is of two tablets daily from 25th of January to 28th of January. So in this form, you can see the EC dataset is created. Another point to note here is that for the record where the subject did not take any medicine, that EC dose was missing. So you can see that what was collected on CRF is entirely the same what we are populating in EC dataset, which is exposure as collected. Now let's see how it will be populated in your EX data. Please note that till this time the study was blinded, because of which we only have created the EC data. When the study is unblinded, only then we are creating the EX data, and in EX data we will have the actual drug which the subject received after unblinding will be populated as the EX dose TRT here. So in this case, as we have discussed, that the first subject was randomized to drug X and the second subject was randomized to drug Z, which is known after the unblinding has happened. So in your EX data, instead of bottle A, we are populating the respective drug to which the subject was randomized. Now coming to the dose, here again, the dose which we are populating is the dose which was given as per the protocol. So in this protocol, it was mentioned that we are going to give the subject two tablets of drug X, and drug X was each tablet was of 500 mg. So since the subject took two drug X, then that means that subject is taking 1000 mg of the study drug on each day from 14th of January to 28th of January. So you can see that instead of populating two tablets, that is EX dose being 2 and dose unit being tablets, what we are doing is we are populating the dose and dose unit in the units which are mentioned in your protocol and not what we have collected, like in the format of what we have collected on the CRF. So here in protocol, it was mentioned that the subject will receive two 500 mg tablets once daily for drug X and two 250 mg tablets once daily for drug Z. You can see that for second subject who took two tablets from the time period of 14th of January to 23rd of January, we have one record created for the second subject where the drug is the EXTRT is drug Z and the dose is 500, which is 250 mg dose per tablet, and the subject took two tablets, so it is 500 mg dose the subject has took. So here we have the date information also from which during which the subject has taken. Another thing to note here is that the date where the day or the date where the subject has missed the dosing, that information will not be populated in EX domain. EX domain will only have the information which the subject actually has taken. So here, since the subject has missed the dose on 24th of January, we are not creating the that particular record with 0 dose, but we are creating the second record for the second intake of the medicine, which starts from 25th of January to 28th of January. So in this example, you have two things to note. The first thing is that if there is a missed dose record, then it will only be captured in your EC domain and it will not go in your EX domain. The second thing which you have to note here is that the information which is populated in EC is what we have collected on your CRF form, and the units will be same what we have collected on the CRF form. So, but in case of EX will always be populated, the dose and the dose unit will always be populated what was mentioned in your protocol. So from this example, this is the intake. So now let's move to the next example for this difference. Now let's look at another example, this time an open label study. In this case, we are supposed to give a total dose of 3 mg per kilogram. And the subject which we are taking into consideration for this example had a weight of 100 kilograms. So that means that we have to give 300 mg of the study drug to the subject. So for this, since this drug was given to the subject in an injection form, we have to create a solution of from this 300 mg. So what we have done is we have created a solution, and that solution name is the drug X, and it is of the concentration 20 mg per ml. So what we have done is, since we have to give 300 mg of this solution of this study drug, we have given 3 injections of 500 ml each, which means that for each injection we are giving 20 into 5 mg, that is 100 mg in each injection of the study drug. So in this CRF form, you can see that for this subject, for visit 3, the subject had received 3 injection and the location was in abdomen. And we have further information that 1 injection was given to the left side, thus we have another given to the center and another on the right side. So in this way, through the 3 injections, 5 ml each, we are giving the subject 300 mg, or you can say 3 mg per kg of the study drug. So now let's see how this will be populated in your EC domain first. As we know, since this is an open label study, so we know that the drug which we have is the drug X. And since for each injection, we have given 3 injections, so there will be 3 records here because we have 3 different directionality of the location here. We have one for left, one for center, and one for right, because of which we have the 3 records created. In case we did not have captured the directionality, and if we have only captured the location, then in that case we only need to create one record in in EC. So now from this information, what we have in your CRF, we have 3 records created, and we know from the CRF that we gave the subject an injection of 5 ml each. So in this case, the EC dose will be 5 and the dose unit will be ml. And the dose form is injection, and it, since for each location and directionality it was given once, we have the dose frequency as once, and since it was an injection, so we have the route also populated as subcutaneous. So in this way, and again, we have the date also populated here. So from date, we are giving the start date, and since it's an injection, so the start date will be same as the end date. So we have the same end date as well. And in this way, you can create the data for EC domain. Another thing to note here is that using the EC SPID ID, you can also give a unique ID for the each record, which in this case was an injection. So we have clubbed INJ 1, 2, and 3 to create a unique ID. So in this form, we have created the EC domain. But now how we will be populated this information in EX domain. In EX domain, for this subject, there will be only one record, and it will have the information of EXTRT as the same, which is drug X, because we are giving the subject the drug X here. And as it is mentioned in the protocol that each subject should be given 3 mg per kg of the study drug. You can see that in EX dose we have the value of 3 and the dose unit is mg per kg. And irrespective here that how we have given this since we have given the drug in injection form, the dose form is injection, and the frequency is once, route is subcutaneous, location abdomen. And again, you note here that we are not keeping the EC lat information in this case, and we are keeping the rest of the information, the dates and the treatments and visit all together, and we are creating only one record. So again, this is another example where the data in EC will be similar to what is collected on the CRF form, whereas when we are creating a EX record, it will be the record which will be in the form of the dose units, will be in the form taken from the protocol. Now let's take another example in which we are again discussing a double-blind studies, but in this case, the subject is given multiple bottles from which he has to take the dose. So this is a study where we are comparing 10, 20, and 30 mg of drug X, which is taken once daily versus the placebo dosing. The study treatment will be administered as one tablet each from bottle A, B, and C, taken together once per day. So now let's see one subject's example here. So for this subject, what happened is that the subject took one tablet daily from bottle A starting from 14th of January till 28th of January. And from bottle C as well, the subject has taken one tablet daily for this duration. That is, from 14th of January till 28th of January, the subject took one tablet each from bottle A and bottle C. But for bottle B, the subject took one tablet daily from 14th of January to 20th of January, but missed the bottle B dose or bottle B tablet on 21st of January, and on 22nd of January, the subject took two tablets instead of one. And again, after from 23rd of January till 28th of January, the subject again took one tablet from bottle B as well. So in this way, the subject has taken one tablet or the tablets as described here in this scenario from each bottle daily. So now let's see how the EC dataset will be created for this subject. So as you can see that we have one record from bottle A where we know that since the subject took one tablet daily from 14th of January to 28th of January without any break, we can directly create one record where the dose is 1 and unit is tablet, and we have the frequency daily, which is QD, and we can have the start date and date as 14th of January to 20th of January. Similarly, for tablet, for bottle C also the same, we can create a record here also. So here you can see the second record is for bottle C, where we have the dose as one tablet daily from 14th of January to 20th of January. Now comes the case of bottle B. So we will create, again in this case we will create four records from bottle B. Why? Because one record will be the record where the subject took one tablet daily from 14th of January to 20th of January. So here you can see that for record number 3 here, we have the dose as one tablet daily from duration that is 14th of January till 20th of January for bottle B. And since the subject has missed the dose on 21st of January, we still have kept that record in EC dataset, but where we have populated the EC occur as N, indicating that this dosing did not occur and the dose EC dose is kept as missing. Then on next day, that is on 22nd of January, the subject took two tablets instead of one. So again, we are populating the information which is collected on CRF that the subject took two tablets on 22nd of January. And from 23rd till 28th, the subject continued to take one tablet daily. So we have another record for this duration as well. So in this way, what we have done is we have created 6 records for this subject in our EC domain, showing how the data was collected on the CRF form. Now let's see how this will be populated in your EX data. So in EX data, you can see that we have the treatment populated, which is drug X instead of bottle A, B, C. So why it is the case? Because as we have discussed, is EX will be created only once the study is unblinded. But EC can be created for the blinded study as well. So if the study is in the blinding phase, we will not have the EX data created, and EX data will be created only when the study is unblinded. And when the study was unblinded, in this case, we observed that the subject was randomized to the 20 mg dosing of drug X. Uh, in this case, that means that the subject had bottle A had the tablets of 10 mg concentration, bottle B of 10 mg, and bottle C was a placebo. So if you get the total of it, since the subject had to take one tablet from each bottle daily, 10 mg from bottle A, 10 mg from bottle B, and 0 mg because bottle C was placebo, which is 0 mg considered as 0 mg. In total, the subject was given 20 mg of the study drug daily. So that was the randomization which has happened for this subject. So as we know that now the study drug is drug X, we have that information in our EXTRT. And since we know that bottle A and B was having the concentration of 10 mg, the first record, that is for the record which is from the duration of 14th of January to 20th of January. Why this period? Because if you see, this period is the common period where the subject has taken one tablet each from all these 3 bottles. So that means from duration 14 to 20, the subject took 10 mg from bottle A, 10 mg from bottle B, 0 mg from bottle C, and in total the subject has taken 20 mg study drug dose. So that's why for the time period which is 14th to 20th of January, we have one record created where your EX dose is 20 mg. Again, please note that the units which we are populating here, dose and dose unit, are in accordance to what was mentioned in your protocol. In protocol, we are clearly mentioning that the subject is subject will be either randomized to 10 mg, 20 mg, 30 mg of the study drug, or it to the placebo treatment. So, and after unblinding, we note that the subject was randomized to 20 mg. So that's why we have the unit here is mg, and depending on how many tablets the subject has taken from bottle A, B, C, we will get to know the dose. So for from coming back to the first record, from the duration 14th of January till 20th of January, the subject took 20 mg. Now comes the period of 21st of January. And on 21st of January, the subject took one tablet from drug A, zero from bottle B, and one from bottle C. So that means the subject took 10 mg from bottle A, 0 from B, and since C is placebo, so it will be 0 again. So on 21st of January, the subject took 10 mg of drug X. So we have the second record created, which is of 10 mg, and the time period is, that is 21st of January here. On 22nd of January, since the subject took two tablets from bottle B, which is equivalent to 20 mg from bottle B and 10 mg from bottle A, 0 mg from bottle C, we have in total 30 mg of the drug X was taken on 22nd of January by the subject. So we have another record in EX, which is 30 mg dose and dose unit populated for 22nd of January. And for the next duration, which is the duration from 28th to 23rd to 28th of January, the subject took one tablet daily from bottle A, B, and C, which is 10 plus 10 plus 0, which is 20 mg daily. For this particular duration, we have a record created in EX, which is 20 mg for the time period 23rd of January to 28th of January. So in this way, you can see that when we are populating the data in EX, we will populate only the data which is regarding the exposure or the drug the subject has actually taken, and the units will be the units as defined or as mentioned in your protocol. Whereas EC is the data set where we are capturing or populating the records as captured in your CRF form. Based on the examples which we have gone through, we can summarize the difference between the EC and the EX domain. The EC domain is, as we know that it is the exposure as collected captures exactly what was recorded on the CRF. That means it shows the treatment information as it was collected at the site, whether or not the study was blinded. It can include details like the number of tablets or volume administered, the intended dose, the actual dose, or the scheduled dose. Information about missed or incomplete doses along with the reasons why they didn't occur. So in short, the EC represents the raw collected exposure data, whereas the EX domain, which is the exposure data, comes into play after the data is cleaned and standardized, typically after unblinding in the blinded study. The EX shows the actual amount of active drug the subject has received and is expressed in the protocol specified units. It only includes the actual administrations, not the ones that were missed or scheduled but not performed. So EC might show several collected records for different bottles or concentration, while the EX summarizes them into single record per administration per consistent units. To simply put this, we can say that EC is what was collected on the CRF and EX is what was actually given in the standardized and ready for analysis format. That's all for today. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on SDTM domains, ADAM, and clinical SAS programming. Comment below if you want us to cover a specific domain or topic next. Thanks for watching.